Hey everyone, welcome back to Manly Focus, the channel that is all about empowering you to live life on your own terms. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Today we've got a topic that's going to hit hard and spark some serious conversations: why single men are happier. So, if you're tired of people judging you or telling you what to do, this video is for you. Let's dive right in. In a world where societal expectations have shackled men into a predestined lifestyle, it's essential to stop and ask, does being single make men happier? This isn't just a question. It's a doorway to liberating countless men stuck in the archaic rigmarole of societal obligations and skewed standards. Let's delve into why single men aren't just happier, they're freer, less burdened, and most importantly, not selfish for choosing a different path. First, let's address the elephant in the room: society's long-standing how-to manual for men. According to this unwritten code, a man should be the provider, the protector, and the ultimate savior for his partner. This has been etched into our collective conscience for centuries. Men were the hunters, gatherers, decision-makers, and protectors of not just families but entire communities. That's not to say men inherently resent this role. Many embrace it. But isn't it only fair to acknowledge the growing number of men who are waking up to the realization that they want something different? These men don't see themselves as just tools in a machinery that demands they protect, provide, and procreate. They're individuals seeking personal happiness, much like their female counterparts who make similar choices and are lauded for it. If a woman declares that she is more interested in her career than starting a family, society hails her as a heroine. She's breaking glass ceilings, she's following her passion. That's considered revolutionary, strong, and brave. Conversely, if a man were to express similar sentiments, that he finds fulfillment in personal accomplishments and doesn't envisage marriage or a family, he's immediately branded as selfish. Isn't this the epitome of a double standard? Growing up, many of us heard similar messages. My own mother would insist that women who chose not to have children were not selfish, implicitly suggesting that men, on the other hand, were obligated to want kids. These messages were not innocent. They were deeply rooted in generations of societal programming that discriminates against men who wish to take the road less traveled. We live in an era where women have made tremendous strides in areas traditionally dominated by men. Women are CEOs, scientists, and leaders of nations. But perceptions surrounding men's roles have been obstinately resistant to change. Even if we look at this from a future perspective, society is currently celebrating women who choose not to have families because they are seen as challenging norms. Will men ever be afforded the same leeway without being considered selfish or irresponsible? Men are not just opting out because they wish to defy societal norms. Many have had first-hand experiences with failed relationships, emotional manipulations, and financial extortions that often accompany marital commitments. These men are not just risk-averse, they are experience-smartened. Let's talk about how getting married is like playing Russian roulette with your life. You can never truly know a person, and post-marriage, you might find yourself yoked to someone entirely different from the person you thought you knew. Emotional and financial demands could pile up, turning the relationship into a transactional nightmare. Being single isn't about a lack of ability to commit or a failure to grow up. It's a legitimate lifestyle choice that can lead to personal happiness. A single man can be just as emotionally available, just as caring, and just as responsible as a married man. Perhaps even more so, because his emotional and financial resources are not drained by an institution that offers little in return for so much. It's about time we stop demonizing men for taking control of their lives. A free-thinking man is not a selfish man, he's merely doing what's best for him. And in a world that still largely judges men by their ability to sacrifice their needs for others, perhaps we should be celebrating men who choose to go their own way. They might just be the most enlightened among us. Let's not overlook the familial pressures men face, particularly from their mothers. The oft-repeated line of "when are you settling down?" or "I want to see my grandkids before I die" adds layers of emotional complexity to an already difficult decision. This isn't a universal trait, of course, but the pressure from family can often push men into life choices that they might not have made otherwise. Why do some mothers seem keen on seeing their sons settled? Well, one could argue that it's a form of societal programming, but there's more to it. These mothers often believe that their sons will be taken care of and that a wife will provide the emotional and household stability that they themselves once provided. This perception is misleading and only sets the stage for future conflicts. Why do some men opt to stay single and go their own way? Because they've seen through the mirage. They've come to realize that they can live a rich, fulfilling life without adhering to societal expectations that do not benefit them. These men are not just opting out, they are proactively choosing a life that prioritizes their well-being, emotionally, financially, and psychologically. Many men have learned the hard way that their sacrifice and commitment are often taken for granted. They're tired of playing second fiddle to someone who views them merely as a means to an end, a provider, a security blanket, a social status symbol, but not as a partner in the true sense of the word. Let's touch upon the often ignored reality that choices have consequences, not just for individuals but for society at large. With more women choosing career over family and more men opting out of the traditional family structure, what does this spell for the future? It's likely we'll see a significant demographic shift, especially in developed nations, where birth rates are already on the decline. Society will eventually have to come to terms with these changes and adapt its expectations and norms to better fit the mosaic of choices men and women are making today. In the final analysis, the question is not whether single men are happier, the real question is why society can't digest this happiness. Men are humans, too, with every right to make choices about their lifestyle, marital status, and personal happiness without facing societal backlash. And while women have won some freedom to make these choices without judgment, men still lag far behind in this regard. So, the next time someone tries to browbeat you with the cliched dictum, "Real men settle down and take responsibility," remember that real men make their own choices and take responsibility for them. Real men don't follow scripts written by a society that has little interest in their individual happiness. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today's in-depth look at why some men choose to remain single and why they are completely justified in doing so. We've torn down some stereotypes, exposed double standards, and most importantly, we've reaffirmed the value of making choices that are in your best interest. Because remember, a free-thinking man isn't a selfish man, he's a wise man making the best choices for his life. If you found this video insightful, give us a thumbs up, share it with anyone who needs to hear this message, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Join the Manly Focus community, where we're all about equipping you to live a life of authenticity and freedom. Until next time, stay focused, stay manly, and most importantly, stay happy. Cheers.